fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's Whip and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you're working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I am going to be working on my Close Encounters from Diamond Art Club. I think I'm a little over halfway done. I decided I did all along the bottom and then I decided to come up this side. And now I'm going to go across and then down, so I leave the middle for last because I want to leave the little alien here and her face for last. So I've done basically from here down. You can see a little bit of her glove and a couple of his feet that I've done. And then I went up this side and I'm working on the moon right now. And then I'm going to work across here. This may be kind of boring because it might be a lot of multi-placing, but that's okay. So let me zoom in to where I'm going to be working and then I'll be right back. Got my drills out here ready to go. Got my timer started. So let's jump into what's going on in my regular life. Well, right now, like much of everybody else, while I'm not being inundated by snow, it is super, super cold today and very, very windy. I don't think you can hear the wind roaring by, but I certainly can. There's a big wind gust right there. It has been frigid here. I think it felt like -20 Fahrenheit this morning when we got up. And I've been keeping an eye on the weather to see how my daughter's doing, and I texted her. They didn't get nearly as much as they were predicting, I don't think, but it's not over yet, so we'll see. They only had a couple of inches the last time I had talked to her, but of course it was super, super cold. Also, I discovered yesterday that I guess now they name winter storms like they do hurricanes. So then I got to thinking, how come they don't name tornadoes? Is it because there's just so many of them? Is it just hurricanes and snowstorms now that they name? I guess do they name typhoons? I don't think they do they? Tsunamis? Anyway, it's been super cold here. Hubby has been running the fire. We did turn the heat up 1 degree just because he's afraid of the pipes freezing. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is certainly cold. It has been so cold that usually when hubby takes the dogs out, Oscar will go down into the dog run and do his business while hubby takes Sable for a walk. And then when Sable gets done with her walk, he will let her inside and then he'll come back and get Oscar. And Oscar is usually pretty adamant about, even if hubby's cold, no, he still wants to go for his walk. Yesterday and this morning, he had no interest in it. As soon as he was done, he was right up at the door, let me back in. It is freezing. And Sable wanted to go for her walk until she got out in the wind, and then she was done too. They are both currently snuggled up on the couch with hubby, staying warm while I am filming this. And how come it seems like January is going so slow? Seems like the whole of last year just flew by, and it seems like January is taking forever to me for some reason. I mean, I appreciate it because it's letting me have enough time to finish this kit, but yeah, it just seems like it's going really slow. So hopefully everyone is surviving. I did have several of you leave comments about how much snow and everything you've gotten. So we'll see how bad it is once everything is done and they start doing cleanup, because I think somebody said that they ended up only getting like maybe 4 to 6 inches, but the storm track changed and now some people on the East Coast are going to be getting like 20 inches. I can't even imagine, because they said Buffalo usually gets all that lake effect snow, and that was already starting yesterday. It was actually supposed to be pretty frigid in places in Ontario as well. Like, I was looking at a map the other day when we were watching some of this pre-storm coverage, and I always forget that part of Canada dips down below some of the top US border. So a lot of times they're getting the same kind of weather in Ontario. They just don't get included in all the American forecasts, obviously. We used to have this one guy that we really liked to watch his weather because he did a really good job of covering everything, but we tried watching him yesterday and it has turned into buy this app, download this so I can see how many of you are online watching us, blah, blah, blah. Like, I really don't care about you selling me your products. I want to watch the weather. And see the storm chasers and stuff. Like, what does the weather actually look like? Because they were saying, we heard stories that, I want to say it's someplace in New York, that it hit so fast that people, blizzard whiteout conditions, people were getting trapped on roadways. So they were having to like rescue people from their cars trapped on road freeways and stuff, on highways. That has to be scary, thinking that you're going to get stuck somewhere like that, especially if your car isn't the greatest. Speaking of which, hubby had to take my car to go get it fixed the other day. He went to go take it in just to get an oil change, and they called him back and said, "You have a tie rod that's about to break. We need to replace it." Which, I don't know anything about cars. That sounds bad. So he told him to go ahead and replace it, and then we forgot we had a warranty, so we dig out the warranty. And so when he goes back to pay the bill, they're like, "Oh, well, you have to call them, and then they call us, and we'll do the paperwork and see if it's covered." Which hubby and I, from reading through the paperwork, didn't know if it was going to be covered, but we thought, hey, we'll at least ask. We are paying for this warranty. So he called and nobody answered. And he called again and nobody answered. And he called again and there was an answering machine, but it was all in French. So he waited a little bit, called back again. Somebody finally answered the phone and said, "Well, we don't work with anybody in your province." Then why are you selling warranties in our province if you're not going to cover anything for people? No, you have to get the car place to send us, to whoever's going to do it, to send us an email, and then we'll work with them. But we don't have any contracted mechanics or whatever. Like, fine, it's a dealership. So he called the dealership, told them to send the email. They did. Surprise, surprise, it's not covered. Which, if we need one, we need one. But I told my husband, it's so frustrating to me. It seems like every kind of insurance you can buy, whether that's health insurance, dental insurance, house insurance, car insurance, when you need it to fix something, it doesn't. And then when you have a claim that they do pay out, then they don't want to insure you anymore. It's like, so I'm just paying you money for nothing? I was actually looking about getting some dental insurance. And dental insurance is usually inexpensive because most policies only pay out a certain amount of dollars per year. So, like when we were in the States, most policies when I was working for an insurance company paid out $1,000 a year. So once they paid out $1,000, you didn't get anything until the next year and your benefits started over. Okay, my husband had a good plan. We got $2,000 a year. We still maxed it out some years. When one crown costs $2,000, that's not hard to do. Anyway, so I was looking at getting some here, just buying a personal policy. And they're like, "Oh, well, when you turn, of course," I think it was like anything between 35 to 65, which is a pretty big range. That was the most expensive because that's when you need the most dental work done, which, whatever, okay. But it was like $200+ a month, and they only paid out like $1,000 a year. I'm like, I'm paying you more than you're paying. I mean, I'm paying more in premiums, almost double what they're even going to pay out. Why would anybody do that? That's crazy to me. You guys got to read the fine print, man. So I'm going to pay them $2,400 to pay $1,000 in claims. I'd be ahead of the game if I just did it myself. This is a lot of multi-placing. I told you this one was going to be kind of boring. Okay, anyway, rant over about insurance. What else was I talking about? Oh, the car. So we got it fixed, which is the important thing, I guess. My daughter made it home before all of the snow really started falling, but again, I think she's going to be upset because it is supposed to be bitterly cold Saturday, Sunday, but Monday it's supposed to warm up, which means that they're probably not going to cancel school because it's going to be warm enough that they don't have to worry about wind chills and whatever. So, I mean, I suppose they could. It depends, I guess, on how much snow they get and how long cleanup takes. In places like some of the southern states where they hardly ever get snow, I can see cleanup taking a while. But, where I lived in Kansas, not that we got 20 inches of snow on a regular basis, but it's not unheard of. They do have snow plows and things, so it's not like the city doesn't have equipment available. Yes, it may take a little bit longer to get everybody cleaned out, but they didn't get, at least where my daughter lives, they didn't get all the ice they were talking about. So hopefully that means there won't be as many power outages as they were expecting. Things have been pretty stable here, so I'm happy with that. Hubby asked me if I wanted to go anywhere. He's like, "We need to run to the grocery store and get a couple of things." And I'm like, "I don't want to go anywhere today. It is too cold. I don't want to go outside." So he ran to the grocery store. And it was cold. It is cold because of the wind chill, but it's not terrible. And it's not, we didn't get hardly any snow, at least not yet, so it hasn't been too bad. But I told my hubby I wanted to just curl up on the couch and watch a movie. We haven't done that in quite a while. Just curl up, watch a movie, have some hangout time, not worry about doing anything, going anywhere. That sounds nice. Some of these are not as straight as I would like, but as we learned with the roller, that's okay. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so snowpocalypse, we talked about that, how to get my car fixed. Oh, you guys, vanilla wafers and banana pudding. After my last whip and chat, I went over to the in-laws' house because we were having a dinner, and I was talking to my sister-in-law about the fact that I couldn't find any vanilla wafers. She showed me, she's like, oh, they do have them. She showed them to me. They're not Nabisco vanilla wafers in the red and yellow box like I was looking for. You know how when you've bought something for so long, you just know what the packaging looks like? Like when you buy mac and cheese, if it's the Kraft one, then you're looking for the blue and yellow box, right? Anyway, I was talking to her about it. And she's like, oh, they do have them, but it's in their international section, I think, was where we finally found it. But they're like Dutch vanilla cookies, and it's in a blue and white package. And they don't taste exactly the same as vanilla wafers, but they're pretty close. So I did actually make my Jello banana pudding, and I threw in some vanilla wafers and my squirty cream, as they call it in the UK, my spray can of whipped cream on top. It was delicious. So they weren't exactly the same, but they're close enough. So I'm happy I was able to find some, like I said, even if they weren't exactly the same. I am unfortunately almost out of Dorothy Lynch, and they don't sell anything like that here. So at some point, hubby and I are going to need to go back and make a trip back into Maine. We might go spend the night in Bangor or something and go do some shopping. Hit up the Target there for some of the stuff we can't find, and the Walmart for some of the stuff we can't find here in Canada. And maybe I'll hit a Michael's while I'm down there. I can shop on Michael's CA, but sometimes it's just more fun to actually shop in person and see what they have. I don't know, I feel like looking at it in person. Ooh, I wonder if there's a Hobby Lobby in Bangor. I know we looked for a Joann's and a Target. I don't know that I ever looked for a Hobby Lobby. I'll have to see. Anyway, so I got my banana pudding. I was happy with that. I had another tutoring session with my student. That went really well, although it seems like we're only able to get together every couple of weeks because of her work schedule. When we started tutoring, she told me that she would always have Tuesdays off, but that has not turned out to be the case. It seems like every week she has a different day off. So sometimes it is challenging to find a day where we can get together that she has the day off. Like this week, she has Monday off, but the library where we meet is closed on Mondays. So now we have to wait until probably next week because I don't think she gets her schedule until Wednesday or Thursday. And since she had Monday off, I bet she doesn't have another weekday off this week, which is fine. It's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me any, but I'm sure it's a little frustrating for her when she thought she was going to have every Tuesday off and now she doesn't. And then everyone always wants to know why I don't use baggies and why I do things a certain way, because that's just how my brain works, or doesn't sometimes. For example, hubby and I decided the other day that we wanted to have Caesar salad for lunch. So hubby gets busy cutting up the lettuce and I'm pulling all the other ingredients out. I grab the cheese, grab the dressing, grab the bacon bits, and the croutons. So he gets done cutting the lettuce, and as I grabbed the Caesar out of the dressing out of the refrigerator, I thought, "Oh, why is this so light? We just bought a new bottle because we both like Caesar salads." And I'm like, well, maybe this is just the old one, and I thought we'd use it up and we didn't. So that's why. Okay, we'll just use it, and then if we run out, I'll go look for another one. So hubby gets done chopping up all the lettuce. I grab the lettuce I want for my bowl, put the rest in his, grab the shredded cheese, start putting it on. And then I realized as I'm sprinkling the cheese on, I grabbed the mozzarella and not the shredded Parmesan. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe the bags look the same. I just didn't pay enough attention. Okay. So hubby's like, no big deal. You didn't put that much on. I'll pick it off and I'll put it on my salad. I'll eat it. So I put the mozzarella back in the refrigerator and grabbed the Parmesan, put that on my salad, put the bacon bits on, put the croutons on, and grab the dressing. And as I'm squirting the dressing kind of all around the top of the salad so I can mix it in, I'm like, why does this look weird? This isn't the usual color of it. And then I realize, I stop and look at the bottle of dressing. I have grabbed the coleslaw dressing and not the Caesar salad dressing. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm like, I've ruined it. We don't have any more lettuce left. I guess I'm going to eat something else. And my husband, bless his heart, is like, no, it's all right. I'll eat it. I like coleslaw dressing. I'm like, yeah, on coleslaw. Isn't it going to taste weird on lettuce? He's like, no, it'll be fine. I'm like, okay. I guess thank you for biting the bullet so that we didn't waste the food. But so I finished assembling my salad with all the correct ingredients. We went and sat down and ate our lunch. And as he's eating it, I said to him, how is it? Oh, it's not bad. I don't mind it. It's all right. Okay. Yeah, some days my brain is not my friend. It's the only crazy thing I think I've done so far this month. So far. Month isn't over yet, right? Okay, I think that's everything that I wanted to tell you about my regular life. What's been going on in my diamond painting life? Not a ton either, I guess. Again, still trying to stay warm. I need to put a blanket over my feet. Right now I can feel some of the cold air coming up from the floor. Our front room where I have my diamond painting stuff set up is not very well insulated. I can feel the cold seeping through even though I'm sitting right next to one of the baseboard heaters. My feet are freezing. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll be fine. So what's been going on in my diamond painting life? I finished, hopefully you saw the video, I finished my snowman kit, my snowman and child kit from Francesca's. So that was good. Those two want to behave. Come on. Anyway, I finished that one. So I did the post-completion review of that. If you missed it, go check it out. And then I also finished, no, I didn't finish. I also kitted up my project for February, which I'm now suddenly realize, why did I pick the smallest month of the year to complete one of my biggest kits? Who knows? We'll see if I actually finish it. I was actually debating with myself if I was going to have time to finish it. I don't know, because I thought I would make this one, but that was admittedly a couple of days ago, and I thought I was flying through it, but now I'm like, oh, I only have like 6 days left. Can I make it? I think I will, but that means I'm not going to start sleepy time as soon as I thought I would. So we'll have to see how that goes. Sleepy time is round, so it should go faster, just like this one, than I think it will, but you never know. That one I think is going to be a lot more confetti than this one. I do think there'll be some multi-placing in it, but not nearly as much as I'm getting in this one, I don't think. And I would like to get more than one kit done per month, so, but I have to do some of these big kits and get them out of the way, right? I just can't keep putting them off. Or if I put them off because I don't really want to tackle them, then maybe that means I need to just pass them on to someone else who will. Because like I said, I'm still going through my collection and looking at things, deciding if I'm going to hang on to them long enough for me to do them, or if it's just time for me to let it go, let somebody else get the enjoyment out of it. There's a lot of people who would be like, well, I spent money on it, so I'm going to keep it no matter what. I kind of look at it as I've already spent the money on it. The money's gone either way. Is it worth it to me to keep hanging on to it just because of that money I spent, even though I've continued to feel guilty about it hanging around in my collection? Or do I let it go to someone else, get rid of that hanging over me? It's not like I'm out more money because I sent it to someone else, you know what I mean? At least that's how I'm looking at it anyway. So I finished the snowman one. I started looking on working on this one, and then hopefully, I don't know if I'll get through the keys or not. I was hoping to get through those this month too, but I don't know if I'll make that. Maybe that'll be my second kit for February. I don't know. I do think after sleepy time, I need to pick a kit to work on that is square. Even though I'm working on some older kits, they have all been round so far this year. And while it's great that I'm getting rid of some of the older ones, I don't want to end up with just squares left in my collection either. And then my other video this week was the rainbow roller that was a failure that I broke. And I think I've told you guys before that sometimes the stuff that doesn't work is more entertaining and fun for me than the stuff that does work. Like, I'm not going to hold it against the manufacturer that it broke. It's a 3D printed tool. I knew, like I said, that that was a possible stress point, that it could fail right there, and I did it anyway. But I just thought it was funny because I just saw another YouTuber come out with a video on it. Basically, they had the same experience that I did, that it really didn't do anything. Now, I did get feedback from some people who have them and said that rather than waiting until you're done with a kit and then trying to straighten everything, to use it as you go along and straighten things as you go before the drills kind of harden into the adhesive, which, I mean, I guess I get that, but I don't have the chance to try it now since my roller broke. But again, I just think for me personally, if they're not perfectly straight, that's okay. Who's going to notice but me once it's finished? Nobody. And I do this for enjoyment, right? If I'm obsessing about whether or not my drills are straight, I'm probably not having a ton of fun. Somebody else commented that if you do wait until after the drills have set, like you finish a canvas and then you go back in, to run over the glue and the drills with like a hair dryer just to warm everything up so it's slightly more loose so that the drills can move around. Although someone also made the comment that they get more slide and give with their drills on a double-sided adhesive canvas than they do with poured glue. My experience has always been the opposite. My experience has always been once I put it down on a double-sided adhesive, whether it's been 10 seconds or 10 minutes, that's where that drill is going to stay. I'm not going to move it no matter what. So I found that interesting. Of course, it never occurred to me to try the hair dryer trick. So, and I do try to straighten my drills somewhat as I go. I do have the straightener on the end of my other pin that I use, and I try to straighten them. But sometimes that doesn't always work either. And I have heard people say that really the only way, once it's put down crooked, to fix it is to just pull it up and place it again, because it gets stuck in the glue. And so wherever you put it the first time is where it wants to go back to, which makes some sense. But again, I want something to work easily. If it's something that, I don't know, I guess using it during is not any different than using my straightener here, but I'm just used to my straightener. I guess maybe it just goes back to that not liking change or whatever. But if it would be a better tool, certainly if you were doing it right as you were placing drills, you probably wouldn't have to press nearly as hard as I was and risk breaking it. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my front door is getting sucked in and out and banging because the wind is so heavy right now. And it's like a big metal storm door, so like it's an exterior door, big heavy metal, and it's still moving around in all this wind. Our backyard's in a bit of like an alcove. The other houses and some trees around it block some of the wind. So when you come around the corner of the house on the driveway and it all smacks you, whew, so you can walk out on the back deck and be like, oh, it's not that bad. And then you step around the corner of the house and you're like, holy. Anyway, so this is turning out to be quite a bit of multi-placing here in this moon. But I gotta say, I'm loving the palette of this one. The bottom of it was a lot of very kind of vibrant pinks and magentas with some pink ABs on the like little polyp flowers at the bottom. And I've done part of her uniform. It's actually kind of amazing to me. As I was working on this, I was like, wow, I've already hit her shoulder coming up the side. I didn't realize how much of her head was going to occupy the actual canvas. But I do love the color palette. It's turning out really well so far, so I'm super happy with this one. I wish I would have done it sooner. Like I said, I know the subject material is not for everyone, but I just love this color palette. And since most of my kits go into portfolios and I don't display them, sometimes the subject matter doesn't matter to me. I like that it's colorful. I'd much rather work on a colorful kit than something that's like black and white or a lot of browns. I thought about doing a black and white kit just to challenge myself, but I don't know if I want to do that to myself. Black is already hard enough, especially if that's going to be a large majority of the kit. Definitely would have to be a kit where I knew the drills were going to be good enough that I wouldn't be throwing away 90% of the black ones. Because that was what happened the one and only time I trashed a kit. There was so much trash in black and the whole background was black that I was just like, I can't do this. And at the time I didn't have enough black spares that I could have replaced all of them anyway. And in my experience, usually when you do something like that and you ask for replacement drills, your replacement drills are just as trashy, so it doesn't do a whole lot of good. That company is no longer in business, though. It's funny to me thinking about how many people were in business when I first started diamond painting that aren't around now. I'm trying to think who even was around. See, Craftably, of course, is not around, although I liked their kits. Who else? DIY Moon Shop went out of business. Although I thought somebody bought them. But then I thought the person that bought them went out of business, maybe. I don't know. I didn't keep up after it wasn't DIY Moon Shop anymore. I didn't have any kits from them, so it didn't matter to me. I had done the 2 kits that I'd purchased from them. Who else is not in business anymore? You guys probably have more ideas than I do. What is the name of the... Is there a company just called Diamond Painting Company? Paint with Diamonds. Maybe that's who I'm thinking of. Is Paint with Diamonds still around? Who else was the other one I just thought of? Treasure Studios Art. That one was in Australia. Wasn't there another one in Australia that closed? I think there was one in Australia that I was going to order from, and then the next time I went to go look for it, it was closed. I don't remember who it was now at the moment, though. I mean, there's always new budget companies popping up, and a lot of them that say they have licensed artwork when they really don't. I like this purple color too. I wonder if this is just in the moon or if this is going to be one of her hair colors. Because her hair is kind of a pinky purple though, so maybe it's not going to be this one. It's so cold my putty is cold, which is usually the opposite. After I've been working with it for a while, it gets too warm. No having to put it in the refrigerator for probably this month. Okay, is there anything I wanted to tell you about that I didn't? So we're still in our winter diamond paint along. I have been watching everybody as you post photos in the group. So if you've been doing that, thank you so much. Some of you are working on some really cute kits. Some of you have completed more than one, which is always nice. Like I get a vicarious pleasure out of seeing you guys complete stuff in your stash. Is that weird? It makes me feel less alone on my journey to make my collection less full. I was watching a YouTuber the other day and they were talking about how they had set a maximum and they were going to go over it. So they were basically just going to set a new maximum for themselves because they knew they wouldn't be able to meet the lower number. I didn't really understand why that was though. Of course, this person also has like 4 whips going at a time. I can't do that. I've tried it. My brain does not compute. I mean, I can have them going on and I can have 4 kits kitted up at the same time. Because like right now I have 3. I have this one kitted up that I'm actively working on. I now have Sleepy Time kitted up, but I have placed 0 drills. And I have had my keys kitted up, but I have placed 0 drills on that one either. Because I was working on my snowman, and then once I finished the snowman, I started working on this one. And I know those other 2 are sitting there, but my brain is like, no, you need to finish this one first. Finish this one. Do this one. Work on this one. Which again is not a big deal and doesn't matter to anybody but me. I just sometimes wish I had the ability to work on multiple kits at once. I mean, it wouldn't make me get anything done any faster, I don't think. Except that maybe sometimes I think, well, I get tired of something and I'm like, well, if I switched it to another kit, maybe then I'd be refreshed and ready to come back to the one I was kind of burnt out on. But nope, my brain is like, no, 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 you got to finish this one. Okay, guys, so I got a lot done. There's lots of multi-placing. This whole section here is basically C's. There's a little bit of G up here, and then there's some 4s down here. So 3 colors to finish out this section. That's not bad. And then I likely will just have a little bit more of the moon over here, and I can continue my way across the top, saving her cute little face and the monkeys, the alien's cute little face for last. Once again, I hope everybody is staying safe and warm and indoors if you can during this brutal winter weather. Hopefully it'll be gone in a couple of days and we'll all be laughing about how much snow we didn't actually get. If you have actually gotten a significant amount of snow, leave me a comment down below. So far, everybody that I've heard of from has said, oh, we didn't get nearly what they were predicting. But like I said, they were predicting that it was going to blow further east than they thought, so maybe it just hasn't hit some of you yet. Let me know. That's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I didn't forget the dogs. Are you okay, Oscar? Were you sick? Were you sick? Poor baby. It's okay. I know. Yeah. Poor baby. Are you getting warm by the fire, Oscar? Are you getting warm by the fire? This is how Sable is eating her dinner tonight because hubby accidentally stepped on her foot when he was getting their dinner. And now she's too scared to get too close to him, so she's leaning down with her butt up in the air and her other feet on the couch, just in case he decides to step on her again. Not that she's a diva or anything.